What's going on, visionaries? We are here. Happy New Year. This is the first episode of the new year. Happy 2023, episode 7. I'm joined by my good friend, the Jade Nicole. Welcome to the pod. Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
pod.
Happy to be here.
How do you say your last name?
Schroder.
Schroder. I didn't want to mess that up.
You better not.
I said Jade Nicole because very on brand. But Jade, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. 2023.
2023. We're really out here. Episode 7.
Crazy.
We're starting strong. We're catching our drift at this point. We've done it. Nate, shout out every episode.
Crazy.
First question that I ask everyone that comes on the Vision Room Social is, if you're going to meet a stranger and they ask you what you do, how would you explain that concisely?
What do I do? Okay. So I in general say social media manager, but within that umbrella these days, there's so much to it. But I run my own company, Jade Nicole & Co. So we do social media management, photography. I'm really passionate about, I come from the fashion world of like styling and that whole creative realm. So I love incorporating like product photography, kind of like product styling whenever I can. I still do some like clothing styling. So within my company, we kind of do a lot of that underneath the social media umbrella. So
yeah. So that's how you explain that?
Does that work?
Yeah, that does work. That does work.
That makes sense.
Because from what I understand, you have jadenicole.co on Insta.
Yes.
So you're like managing like people's products, people's
social media. Yeah. So Facebook, Instagram, posting, captions.
Can you manage our social media?
Let's talk after.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna bring it back. So what I do know from you is that you're originally from Iowa. Yes. Mm-hmm. I knew you moved to Tulsa from LA though. So
yes.
Can we like unpack how Iowa, LA, Tulsa?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of people ask that. They're like, Iowa to California to back to Oklahoma.
Yeah, I did not know you're Iowa girl.
Yeah, I grew up in Iowa from the cornfields and then went to school here in Tulsa. Yeah. Went to ORU and then...
You're a Golden Eagle?
I am.
I had no idea.
You didn't?
No. I didn't know that.
You didn't go to... anyway.
No, I didn't go to ORU.
Went to ORU and I always just like knew I wanted to end up in LA for a little bit. Just always loved, like growing up beach culture. I just always saw that and also loved just the fashion world and always wanted to go to fashion school. And so I almost did that before I went to ORU. And then, right after graduation, I think it was like the week after I graduated ORU, I had a friend who was also moving out to LA and we're like, let's just do it. So we both just like found a last minute apartment and moved out to LA. We didn't have any plans. I knew I wanted to go to fashion school, but I hadn't even applied yet. So we both, I think it was like a six week period where we were just like subleasing an apartment. Like we would wake up every day and be like, what are you doing today? What?
After ORU?
After ORU. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, it was just like that. When you're young, you have that ambition to just be like, let's just go and figure it out. So anyway, I ended up applying to fashion school, went to fashion school out there, lived in LA for 5 years, worked in the fashion industry. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a long story, but then it was 2020. What brought me back to Tulsa, I've just always loved Tulsa. I've loved like the creative culture here, the people, closer to my family. So I always was like, I would love to like end up back in Tulsa. And then Tulsa Remote is actually what brought me back officially.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
That's
so
how
what brought you? So what'd you study at ORU?
I studied, is this on?
Yeah, you're good.
I studied PR. That was my major. And also I started out in business. So that was a minor, but PR, public relations. Yeah.
So what, like when young Jade, a little 18 years old,
when
you're going into that, like what was your end goal at that point? Like what were you kind of thinking?
Oh gosh, I don't think I had any idea.
You were just doing
going
the PR?
Into college. Yeah, I was like, what's the most broad thing I can pick that I think I started out in business. That was like or marketing. Yeah. And then I think I saw like social media, graphic design was kind of within public relations, so I switched. But I really didn't know.
You get your degree from ORU, go to LA. Were you using your degree or what were you doing? Yeah.
So the summer before I officially moved out to LA, I did a PR fashion internship in LA that summer before. So I kind of was working in that realm, like not knowing if I wanted to get a job in it, but before I decided to go back into fashion school. So I kind of worked within the fashion PR industry a little bit in LA, but I never really fully did because I went right into the fashion world. But I've used a lot of it. I guess I actually have from like the marketing standpoint.
Dude,
but
it's because for me it's like a crazy transition from, we'll unpack in a little bit, but from fashion to now managing social media. That's like, I don't know how you even got to that point, if you want to unpack that.
I guess I kind of always loved social media because I would run, I think when I first like few months when I moved out to LA, I was also doing a social media internship.
Within, you did all the internships.
I really did. That's something for me. I'm like, I sometimes feel like I need over experience to feel confident, and you know,
matching Enneagram 9s. Right, we like kind of, it takes a long time for us to like kind of feel confident to finally go do what we need to do.
No, that's for sure. So, but it's also great, like you get so much experience. So but so for fashion to social media, I always had kind of run social media accounts. I was working in styling on the side too, running that stylist like social media, and just people would be like, Jade, you're so good at social media. Like this is such an industry that is like needed right now.
Can you give us a timetable, like where you're at right now?
Okay. So this is like first 2 years in LA, I was doing the internship, and then like second, third year, I was working in styling while I was going to fashion school.
How long ago was that?
I graduated fashion school 2016. It was just a year. And then right after that, during that time, I was still working for a stylist.
You're so cool in 2016. Bro, I was like in community college doing nursing school.
Isn't that crazy? Hey, well, I'm like also ancient compared to you, probably.
No, we're like, I feel like we're in the same generation. I think there's
I feel like
4 or 5 year gap.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so that was 2016. I was working in styling, like deciding if I wanted to use my design degree or go into styling, just kind of like building up my portfolio. And then that stylist was kind of like a mentor to me, and she was like trying to help me like get connected with photographers, and she had also worked in the fashion design industry, and she was like just kind of like telling me the ins and outs of it, and like it's not as like great as you think. And I was like, but no, I want to like, you know, pursue it. So I ended up going into a design role, which is where I worked for like 3 years. But in that, I would kind of still run social media for her, and she would connect me with other people. So there were times when I would like wake up super early in the morning. I was working like 4 jobs and like do social media, and then like on my lunch break, go try to post.
For sure.
So anyway, so that's how I got into the design role and worked that for 3 years. And then that's actually the company that they needed a social media manager and photographer, and I could see like our need for content. And so I kind of pitched, I was like, hey, I was kind of over the design, like fashion design was so fun, and I hope to use it in the future, but I was like, it's really not as creative, and like it wasn't quite
like that much freedom, at least for you.
A little bit. And I still love it, but I was like, you know what, social media is something I want to try out. So anyway, I started running social media for them, and doing their photography. And anyway, from there, that was kind of like my first base of like having a full like
social media
portfolio to like kind of start my business from.
So I want to take a quick pause. Super big props from Iowa Jade to LA. That's like
from Iowa to LA.
Yeah, I mean, because for you that felt natural, but I think a lot of people, at least myself at 18, would have been scared to just jump. Like, was that just like your natural element, or did like you have some kind of pushing from mom and dad or mentors or someone?
Well, I was, because when I was 18, I always had that desire to go to LA, but I wasn't quite ready. So I went to ORU, and that's where my brother went, and so glad I went. So I wasn't quite ready to just like go out to LA by myself. I don't know. I think I think my biggest fear, I always say, is like the fear of regret. And so I'm like, FOMO. I always fight that. So I was like, I've known this has been like, to work in the fashion industry and be a designer was like a dream of mine since I was 4. And so I'm so passionate about like, I always say like, follow the dream of your youth and at least like pursue it, or like if it's still something you want. So I think that's really like, I just always wanted to at least try it. So, and I went out for the summer before and did an internship, and that's where I knew like one person, and I feel like God really just like opened the doors for me to get connected in a church out there, and I just found community so quick. And if that didn't happen, I probably would have never the next summer like officially moved. So it all kind of just like lined up. But
for y'all listening and watching this on YouTube, more of the story, Jade jumped.
I took the jump.
Yeah, you took the jump.
Leap.
It kind of sounds like redundant at this point, 'cause I think we've said that term on every single episode, but I'm just like quick reminder. I just hope that hearing these people's stories I'm able to inspire somebody out there that like she had the dream and then you just took the jump.
Yeah.
Right. You were like in that in between, but then just letting God's voice lead you and.
And I think like reach out and like try to like see if it's there for you and if like things line up and like just like always take the chance. Yeah.
Okay, we're at the midway point. I don't have a drum roll. I warned Jade this time about the Cash App challenge.
Oh no.
Yeah, we're hitting it. Reminder, she gets it right, I Cash App her $5. She gets it wrong, she Cash Apps me $5. This one's just a warm up one, and then I have the actual one. So fun story. You actually went to El Salvador.
I did.
Last year?
Yes. Wait, no, this year.
Yeah. This year at the time that we're filming this.
Okay.
Last year at
2023.
Yeah. Last year. Give us your best Spanish line.
Oh no. The thing is I took Spanish for 4 years and I can't remember anything.
Also did. So how'd you do it? Oh, you had tour guide.
Yeah,
our
Chavi,
mutual friend Chavi.
Yep. Yeah. Gosh. Hola.
Okay.
I'm sure I learned. Gosh, Chavi, I'm sorry if you're watching. You're gonna be so disappointed.
But I mean, you're giving your social media. I was like, oh, okay, go. You going?
Una papusa.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's my favorite food there.
Yeah. I'll take that. That one's not for the Cash App challenge. This one, okay. Jade. If y'all don't follow her yet, she's a Tulsa icon, I feel, in my perspective. This chick always taking like vibey pics outside downtown Tulsa. You have 20 seconds to name like 5 downtown Tulsa coffee spots, no Starbucks, no mainstream stuff.
Okay. Right now?
Time's going.
Hodges, Triangle, Notion, Double Shot, Foolish Things.
Okay, just go. Keep going.
Downtown, Topeka.
You forgot my fave. I mean, you won Cash App challenge right at this point.
Oh, 5.
Cirque. Notion.
I said Notion.
Did she say? Oh man, Nate.
I think I said Notion.
Judge says he said Notion.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Oh, you $5.
Yes,
dude, I'm getting
clean.
I think I've gotten like 2 people to give me, and I've lost the rest. I need to do more research on my trivia questions. So continuing on. You moved to Tulsa, and you're doing Jade Nicole Co.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, was that your initial plan when you first moved to Tulsa, or like?
Yeah. So when I was starting to get into social media through like the fashion industry,
after
I was like,
LA,
I was like, this. Well, I was still in LA at the time, but I was like, this is something. My goal was just to run my own company because I knew I wanted to do that and, have the flexible schedule, and I just loved it. So I was like, social media is something I can like do for sure. So I started to build it up and like reach out to companies before I moved to Tulsa and kind of build up that company. So I kind of had it in the works. And that was the goal, to do social media. Yeah. So
now that you're doing that full time, like what's like the best thing about it and the hard things about it now that you work for yourself?
I think like in general, working for yourself, I mean, the benefit is the flexibility and freedom to but that's also like the downside to it is it's hard to hold yourself accountable, and find like balance and like let go of that like feeling of like either you always have to be working or, like feeling bad if you're not, or it's just like also getting out of the 9 to 5, mindset of like, I have to work this set amount of hours and be at a desk all day, is really hard. So anyway, there's pros and cons, but I'd say obviously the pro is the flexibility and freedom. But also just like the con is like the pressure and like I always feel like I'm like walking on a tightrope every day, and it's like if you miss a step, you're like gonna fall, and your whole business like really feels like it's gonna like crumble.
If I post one wrong thing, I'm done.
Like sometimes we're like all my clients hate, like sometimes I'm like all my clients hate me, I'm doing such a bad, you just go through all the negative self-talk sometimes. But
my friend James on episode 1, he's like, if I spend money, like that's gone. Like it's not coming back in 2 weeks. It's like so
it's all on you.
So right now you have your like own I guess portfolio of clientele. How does your business work like?
Yeah. I work for different clients, and I mean, for the most part, do the same thing for them, but some I do just photography for, different projects for them. But for my like monthly clients, yeah, I'll do social media.
Photography, like with like you have like your own gear and all that, or you just like social media, like
Yeah.
Instagram?
Well,
kind of
I
stuff,
do. Like, I have a client that sends me like, some have sent me clothes, I have like jewelry clients that send me jewelry, and I'll just do product photography. So I'll rent out like studio
You
spaces.
get to keep it?
No, I usually send it back. Sometimes I guess I get to keep some, but yeah, sometimes I'll just have, models come over to my house, and I have a little like backdrop studio that I'll do something, not anything crazy. So
so right now that you're doing that, I was telling Nate earlier. So I think as like creatives, if I were to write down everything Jade's done, and show it to anyone, they're like, man, Jade's really doing it. Like, she's out there, she's working for herself. But like I know, like as creatives, we maybe feel like we're not quite where we want to be yet, or we feel like we haven't done anything.
Yeah.
So like right now, like you're killing it, you're doing Jade, but do you like, where do you feel that like the trajectory of like your business and like your own creative endeavors going?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel that. Like, I'm always like, you have to take a step back to be like, wow, I'm so proud of, how far you and like look at that.
You
and
can't like discount it either.
Yeah, but I'm definitely not where I want to be, and I think that's a good and bad thing, but to always like look forward and want more. But I definitely want to grow. I mean, social media is not my end all be all. It truly for me was like an avenue to like live the freedom and like get in back to Tulsa and run my own business. And so that really was like, I feel like an avenue for me. And so it's like Jade Nicole & Co is like kind of a basis for what I want to do. And I named it something like my name, General, so that I can kind of go into different creative things. So I would love, to build it from there too, and like build a team and an agency and be kind of like your one-stop creative studio. So
you take the podcast on as a client.
Yeah. Hey, let's go.
We out here going on branding and stuff. With my little, I was telling Jade that these guys have made a little feature on like almost every episode. It's like just an Easter egg. They have no names or anything. James was really mad about it. Caden, I'm sorry, I forgot I'm on your episode, bro, but they've been on all of them. Yeah. Last leg of the interview. Do you have any advice for people that are trying to do, I guess, what you do now? So.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, reach out to people. Like, there's so many, like, if you're like me and want to just like learn, like, so many internships and also so many people. And I think social media is something anyone can do, like, if you really want to. So it's like, reach out. So many people and businesses don't know or have the time to even think about hiring someone. So it's like, even if you really want to get started running social media, like, reach out to a local business and like, go in with a business card. And I also say fake it till you make it. Like, like, just make a business card, if like run social media for
professional advice. Fake it till you make it.
And because you're more prepared than you think you are. So it's like, if you have the passion for that passion for that, it's like, a lot of people, but also, it allows you to gain more confidence and step into
for sure.
That. But just reach out and like reach out to people and see if they need, like, other people like me, if they need help or internships or.
So is that kind of the fake it till you make it? Is that kind of how you like? I'm just curious how you built your clientele, because like it's steady now to where you like able to provide for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I think fake it till you make it is a thing, but it's also like you do forget how much experience and like knowledge you have. But there is like, so I think you definitely have to have some sense of like a foundation to build off of. But I think it's just the like, taking that risk more so than like faking it till you make it. And like, it all kind of, I just like, for me, I just started reaching out to companies here in Tulsa, and they ended up being like, oh my gosh, we need a social media manager. And you kind of just figure out along the way. That's for like how like that's you're real. Like, oh gosh, I need a contract. Okay, I gotta Google something real quick. Like
I didn't know that. Or
you're like, how do I set up a business? And so I definitely like learned along the way. So that's
real.
Yeah.
I think like, at least for me, like if I were to do what you do, I'd have so much of a fear of rejection that it would like paralyze me from asking.
Really? So, yeah. You're definitely there's gonna always be people that are gonna say no or think you're crazy for your pricing or all that. So
yeah, but I mean like God's kind of provided the right clientele that value your skill set, and now you have. Yeah, he really has. Yeah. Dude, shout out to Jesus. Shout out to Jesus. Thank you for coming on the pod.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Vision Room Social. See ya.